All right, everybody, hit a heart
Okay.
for everyone. Hit a heart for the consistency that Gogo brings and doesn't stop until she makes it in. So please hit a heart. Please share. Please share
Here.
because obviously she didn't stop till she got in.
Sorry, that was like technical difficulties this morning. You saw it. I took a video, so you,
She
you
did.
saw it
She
on my
said
end. It asked you for a passcode.
she did. She sent it to me through IG, proving that she couldn't get in.
Yeah.
Either way,
Getting
we're
here 5 minutes early.
yeah, you're the best. You're the best. Thank you so much for jumping on here today.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go through a few things, obviously, some questions and all of that. But before we get to all of that jazz, could you please tell everyone who you are, what you do, how you do it, and all that good jazz?
Oh gosh, 2 minute elevator pitch.
2 minute elevator.
Well, my name is Gyöngyvér Betki, my real name. Nobody can pronounce it, so everybody calls me Gogo. I'm Hungarian by nationality, but as I was born in Romania. I came to the US all by myself in 2003, borrowed $200 and came for the American dream. Met my husband 2 months later, and actually today is our 18th anniversary that we met.
Congrats.
So, we got married 2 months after that, so in 2 months we'll have our 18th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
It's kind of awesome. You know when you know. I got licensed in 2011. I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. We have two boys, 13 and 11. At first, I kind of just, process of elimination of like, no, I can't do this. No, I won't do that. No, I won't do this. Kind of like what I interviewed all the top producers to see what they are doing. And they were door knocking and cold calling and buying Zillow leads. And I had no money to buy Zillow leads. I had a very strong accent and a weird name. So cold calling was not for me. And I'm 5'2" and a little blonde. So I'm like, I am not knocking on anyone's door.
Right.
So the list of things that I wasn't willing to do was pretty long. And I narrowed it down. Okay, what am I willing to do? Because I'm also the sorest loser you'll ever meet. So if I do something, I do it right, or I don't do it at all. And so I figured, I'm like, okay, what can I do? What am I willing to do to make a name for myself and, make it in this industry? So it came down to social media for me. It started with a Facebook business page. And then fast forward 10 years in the industry, now I'm named the social media queen of real estate. I was voted #1 in the state of Michigan, second year in a row out of all realtors when it comes for social media marketing, and then number 16 in the nation, and all 15 are pretty much HGTV guys and girls. So I take social media seriously. It is my job. I enjoy what I do, and I'm that annoying 3-year-old, just as you said, that I don't give up. So I push the buttons until it does what I want it to do, and so that's pretty much it in a big picture. I also turn my knowledge into courses. So we have two different courses. One is Gogo's Bootcamp Plus, which is our social media course. It has over 200 videos of content, pretty much everything that I have today, from the basics of what to do and how to do it and why, most importantly, so you understand how to use social media, but also all the way to what I have today. So fast forward, 11 years. So that's the social media course. And then now I'm EXP, just like you are. And we have a course on that. It's called Gogo's Bootcamp Agent Attraction. I have brought over 150 agents. Personally, my first generation, and I built a course around that, sharing my knowledge to help others do the same.
That's awesome. So it sounds like you excel pretty quickly. I mean, in all aspects, business and personal, right? Like when you know, and
Yeah.
So it looks like you do. You excel pretty quickly at both. So, and this is me just being curious. When you came over here and you were looking for that dream and you were looking to really explode and do something really, really well, why did you choose real estate? What about real estate kind of brought you in?
So it actually wasn't my idea, to be honest with you. At the time, I was a stay-at-home mom, so I was home with the boys for a year and a half. And my neighbor is a marketing director for Capital Title, a local title company, and she thought I would make a good realtor. She's like, "You're so social. You would make a good realtor." And she already talked to with a brokerage called Real Estate One. She's like, "I already talked to the broker. Here's her number. Just give her a call and go in for an interview." I was like, it's a great idea, actually. I was watching HGTV all day long at home, so I'm like, what a great idea. They made it look so simple to be a realtor. So I called the brokerage and they interviewed me, and they pretty much offered me a job right there. They said if I pass I haven't even had a license at the time. If I pass my licensing, they would hire me and pay for my class. I was like,
Wow.
so I went and studied and passed right away. and they hired me right away, and I stayed with them for 6.5 years. So they were my base, I guess, for
Right.
6.5 years. Yeah.
So my guess is that there's quite a few of newer agents who are watching as well. Your first year in the business, I mean, because obviously they see you now and they're like, oh, she's killing it. She's crushing it. Of course she's going to do well.
Let me tell you about the first year.
Let's do it.
So thank God that my husband had a real job, as I call it,
Right.
a reliable income.
Yeah.
My first year, I made $16,000. My second year, I made 32. My third year, I pretty much doubled year after year. My 36, I think I made in the second, then 75, then 156, then so it just went on and on and on. What I know today, I always had too much of an ego to build a brand for anyone else. So I knew I would die trying building my own brand before I join a team. But what I know today, I would put my ego aside. I would join a team. I would soak up as much information they can give me. I would do as many transactions as I could. I would be in so many different sides. I would do rentals and commercials and and lofts and houses and condos. And I would do it all waterfront and that, and be, just so I would work with all type of buyers, from the FHAs to the conventional to the rural
Right.
cash, just so I can understand all of the different types. And as soon as I went through all, then I would go out on my own. So you would just speed up the process instead of trying to figuring it out on your own. So that's what I did. I figured it out on my own because I had too much of an ego in the way. And so it took me much longer. My opinion, if I joined a team, I probably could be where I'm at today 5 years earlier.
Right. No, and I think that's important. I mean, for people to, like I said, see you where you're at now and say, of course it's easy for her. I mean, I think that's important to know that you didn't even make, I think is what you said, you didn't even make $20,000 your first year. And that's gross. That's before taxes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I probably made nothing after my gas and
Yeah. Yeah. You're in the red.
exactly.
And then same with the second year, and it sounds like you were starting to pick up really steam in the fourth or fifth level. So you're talking, or fourth or fifth year. So you're talking about the importance of joining a team and getting that structure and what that looks like, and honestly learning off their failures as well. And would you say, is that kind of what you bring to the table for newer agents and just agents who are transferring and looking for that guidance?
Yes, yeah. So we definitely do a lot of training. So what we call Team Gogo here at EXP, we meet about 4 times a week. Now, of
Wow.
course, none of it is mandatory, so they can come in as they please. But you see the ones that are successful are there every single time, and the ones that don't show up, that success doesn't show up in their lives, because it's how do I say this? Life is an ATM. You put the time in, you take the money out. You don't put the time in, you just simply won't see the results. It's that simple. So our team is not a team in a sense where we don't provide leads. We provide all of my goal is to teach everyone how to fish for themselves. So they never have to rely on a third party for a lead. So that's what we do. So every Wednesday at 1 o'clock, we have a production related training. Like today at 1, we are going to have a transaction coordination company come and tell us how they work and how much they charge. So our agents that are very busy and doing, massive amount of production, and they're still doing their own paperwork, they can remove that from their plate, hire somebody who's professional, and that's what they do for a living. So that allows them more time to do the next transaction and collect more income. So every Wednesday, it's usually production related. How can we sell the next house? Wednesday nights, we do what's called a Wine Not EXP. So it's like a presentation where I present the opportunity and then they bring their guests so they can grow their teams. Every Thursday, we do what's called a Tech Thursday, and Christy does those trainings. And then every Friday morning, we do an agent attraction mastermind. And on there, we don't talk production. I don't care what you sold, what you're closing on, none of that. That's only agent attraction.
Right. Okay, awesome. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of support there. I know there's a lot of people here as well that obviously they followed you on Instagram. Are you, by the way, real quick, are you on any other social media platforms with as much following other than Instagram?
Yes and no. The whole thing started with a business page on Facebook. And then I took that over to Instagram. And on Facebook, to be honest with you, I was really only talking to my audience who were sellers, buyers, renters, the next mission. And about 5-6 years in, I really needed to start venting. Like there's some good, bad, and the ugly about me.
Right. Yeah.
I really don't want to vent about my clients to my clients.
So that's why you transferred to Instagram?
Yeah, so it's really not venting about the client, but venting about the situation. You know, it's not easy to be a realtor. It's a very cutthroat industry, and you know, sometimes things get to you. It doesn't get to me anymore, thank God, 10 years in now. But I used to have some. I used to cry myself to sleep over a commission, you know, in
Right.
the past. And so then I took the party over to Instagram, thinking that my followers from Facebook not gonna find me there. Yeah. But because I started addressing more the real estate side of things, so what does it really take to be a realtor, I started having more followers, realtors on Instagram. So that just kind of took off because they could relate. I mean, they could like understand my pain. That doesn't mean that I don't have sellers, buyers, and renters there. We still do. We still, even just last week, we got a football player reach out that's going to buy from us in Michigan, buy with us, I should say, in Michigan. So, you know, that is still happening, but it just kind of became a different audience. And then all of mine is kind of linked together. So what I post on Instagram, because that's where I feel most comfortable with, I post on Instagram and then it feeds to Facebook. And then I have a virtual assistant who feeds it to LinkedIn. So it kind of hits all platforms, is just a different audience on each platform.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell you really picked up steam on Instagram, and thank you, by the way, because while I was, looking to grow our course, one of the things we went back to was the Instagram, and you went in and you were like, oh, well, here's the deal, you suck. You suck at that. That thing's terrible. What does that even mean? I mean, and that's what I needed. I needed that candid conversation. And now all my Instagram, anything I post has a story to it, right? You were like, it's got it. What are you doing? Like, what does that even mean? It's just a
Happy
picture with the
Monday. Well, we all know it's Monday. So anything else you want to talk about?
right.
So
No,
good.
and I
You have to
appreciate
check
that.
it. You made some changes.
Well, I have to, right? Like if I
Let-
wanted to exceed, I got to take information from someone who's doing it at a high level and then implement myself, right? So
Love
thank you
it.
for that.
Absolutely.
So for
Yeah.
you and for others who are watching here today, what would you say is now? Okay, no, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. When you first started growing on Instagram, what
Mhm.
would you say was one of the biggest contributors to the constant growth, to the constant following, to the people reaching out to you? What would you say was that number one thing your first year kind of really expanding on an Instagram that helped you excel?
Truth. Truth.
Just truth.
Things that people want to say but they don't say, and I did.
So that's interesting because this is closed there, because there's a few agents who they come up to me and but it could be other questions where it's, hey, how should I dress? Or I know I need to come across professional. And there are definitely places for that. But I always tell them to tell, like what you're saying, tell the truth, be you, right? And
You.
there's a lot of agents who are afraid of that, especially if they cuss like a sailor or anything like that. So what would you tell
But
that agent?
I don't say take it. There is a healthy level of where you have to, I guess, meet your audience. Like in my personal life, I probably cuss way more than I do on Instagram. Like, don't
Right.
get me wrong, I don't have a sailor mouth by any means, but I would probably use the F word 25% more in real life than I use on Instagram. So it's not like I don't ever use it. You
Right.
just still have to keep it somewhat professional, but you have to allow the world to get to know you. You know what I mean? So there are things. So for clothing, so let's talk about, the clothes that I wear. I wear very sassy clothes. I'm European. I was pretty much raised half naked, which is normal in our culture. I wasn't raised that I have to hide my body and I have to wear a potato sack and a turtleneck so people take me seriously. So you'll see me in a bathing suit all the time. You see me in sassy little outfits because in my opinion, my knowledge is here. What I'm wearing it really does not take away from my brain. I always say my boobs don't take away from my brain. I can have both. I can be sassy, sexy, and smart at the same time. So I feel like in a way it's almost my duty to help some women to get out of that shell that you absolutely can be smart and sexy at the same time. You do not have to choose between the two. And the people that don't have the ability to take me seriously or take my negotiation power seriously because they can't get away from the fact that I have boobs, they're just not my people. They have to go and
Right.
find themselves a realtor that's okay of hiding their body so they can be taken seriously. You just don't want to get me on the other side of the negotiating table. Trust me.
Yeah,
It's tricky.
exactly. Yeah, no, and I think obviously that's an important for a lot of people, especially if they're feared to kind of come out of their shell. And would you say that in a way, it starts to attract the tribe, the people that you want to surround yourself with anyways.
Exactly. The more you allow them to get to know you, the more you find the people that are just like you.
Exactly. And if you fake the funk, you start attracting the people you would never want to be around anyways.
Yeah. And then you're faking it, you know, then
you're
it's
faking it.
yeah. And I don't ever have to hide. That's the other thing I say. Well, if you decide to do social media, you have to say the truth and only the truth always, because the truth comes to surface. So it's, and then if you decide to say the truth, then you don't ever have to worry about of like, oh, can I say this? Not, just say what's going on.
Wow. Okay. And through that truth, what have you found to be one of the biggest connections that you have had with your audience? I mean, just through your own truth.
Yeah. I mean, when I lost my front tooth, I don't know if you remember that. I think that's when we talked, actually. I think I still didn't have my front tooth. So, and for the sake of the audience, this one is an implant. And I lost my front tooth and I couldn't have a front tooth for about 8 months. So I was toothless. And so I had a 3-day pity party. So for about 2-3 days, you guys didn't see me on here because I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have a front tooth. What are we going to do? Like, I'm the social media queen and I don't have a front tooth. Like, what the fudge? And then I realized, you know what? It's the truth. God doesn't give me what I can't handle. I'm not going to have a front tooth for 8 months. I cannot do social media for 8 months. I lose my audience. I lose what I have going on. So I said, we're just going to rock it. I can't tell you how many followers I got from that. I can't tell you how many true relationships and true followers I got from that, because we had something to relate. She's like, Gogo, I haven't left my house in 6 months when that happened to me. He's like, I can't believe you are not only leaving your house, but you are doing videos toothless. And so it allowed people to, you know, to rock their story. Like, this is what God gave me. Like, this is my story in the moment. I have to make the best of it. And so I made the best of it. So I feel like when you can share who you are, like one of our agents right now actually just had a baby premature, 27 weeks. And she was posting, she's like, it's not that I'm hijacking my Instagram account that used to be real estate, but I'm still a realtor and this is what's going on in my life. So now I'm back and forth in the hospital in ICU, you know, keeping a little baby alive in the NICU. And this is my story now. And you guys been, you know, supporting me all this time. So you need to know what's going on. And so I, you know, hats off for her for that one, because that is a big door that you're opening into your life, allowing people to get to see what's going on. But in the same time, you will earn those relationship that will turn into trust over time, and people will work with people they trust. So that's the reason why I don't have to have a listing appointment or a listing presentation, is because I know the listing is mine before I ever step a foot in on the door, because I earned their trust the years, allowing them to really get to know me and see my hustle and see my work ethic and see that day in, day out, I'm here and working, you know, and they saw that I became a local expert through the years. So when you do it right and you allow, and the humble brag, you know, and the shameless self-promotion, as I call it, it's absolutely mandatory. If you're not okay in being in front of the camera, if you can't get yourself to talk or be in the pictures, then social media is not for you. It's not going to work. If you think about it, the only way people know what you're doing and any of your accolades, if you tell them, you have to brag. You have to say, oh my gosh, I just got first in the state. How on earth would they know if you don't?
Right.
And how on earth are they going to decide to work with you if they don't know that you're first in the state?
Right. You can't be a secret agent.
No. So you have to be okay with it is weird at first, I'll be honest with you. I'm like, oh, look at what I did today. But in the end of the day, that's what's going to bring them in on the door. It's like a commercial. Like back in the day, you hired a videographer and you created a commercial and you plastered it all over TV. Today, you can be the videographer and you don't have to pay for it and plaster it all over social media. And it's technically advertising, the same thing, but different format.
Yeah. And you know, it sounds like you're also, and going back to the toothless story, and you're giving permission for people to be okay with who they are as well, right? I mean, by you doing that, they think in their head, oh my gosh, if she's smiling big without the tooth, who am I to say?
One night we were singing karaoke and we had the camera on and I saw myself toothless and I pretty much peed my pants laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I look so hideous right now. But everybody just loved it. And like, I can't believe, Gogo, you're rocking it. You're doing, you know, you're making the best of it. And so I hope that it allowed people, whatever they are going through, if it's out of the norm, to get out of the box, take the freaking lid off and just throw it and live your life, because, you know, God doesn't give you what you can't handle. So he must think I'm a badass.
Yeah. 100%. How many toothless pictures did you get through Instagram? Like
Oh my
DM?
God. Oh
I'm
my
sure a
gosh.
ton.
So I have so many toothless brothers and sisters in the world, and I love that.
They were like,
Yeah.
represent. All right, I got a question
Yeah.
that came in. There's a few more things I want to go over, but I did get a question that came in. It says, when getting people to know you, how many social media posts are business related versus how many are personal related? Thank you for the question, Daniel.
So everything in a way is business related. So I'm not going to talk about anything, I guess, that is in a way not tied into business. So I might talk about motherhood, but that's also tied back into business because I am a mother and I have to figure out life around managing that, managing a household, and managing multiple businesses and many, many employees and teams and all that. So in a way, it's all tied in. Like yesterday, I posted something that, I was checking out of a hotel and there was the bell cart and I just kind of was flying with it. And that kind of
I
gave me the
saw that.
idea. Whatever your avenue is that you take, it might be door knocking for you. It might be meeting people in the bar and that's how you find your next client. Like whatever your avenue is that you take to find that next client and make that next commission or whatever you're growing, if you're growing a team, hire that next agent, you have to use that and you have to rock that. So usually mine are tied back into some sort of an entrepreneurial mindset. But I would say it's all business. In a way, it's all business.
Yeah. That it kind of reminds me of my CPA when I first got into the real estate business and they wanted my miles. And I said, you know what? Everywhere I go, I'm going to talk about, yeah. So it's like from January 1, December 31st, I write down, from that miles to that miles.
Restaurant tickets, because I will talk to the server. Do you need to when I tip, I leave a nice tip and I always leave my business card and in the meantime, I'm like, oh my gosh, your service is awesome, why don't you get a real estate license? You're so good at customer service. Or if their service wasn't that good, then I usually say, hey, if there's anything I can help you with, I'm an awesome local rockstar realtor. I have access to absolutely anything, rents, own, buy, sell, you name it, vacant land, new construction, I would love to help you, and here's my business card. So I always, if I sit at the bar, and trust me, by the end of the day, I know if they happen to have a real estate license, which in Florida, every second person has a real estate license, I probably told them all about EXP. And if they're not licensed, I probably hooked them up with one of our local agents to buy, sell, rent, Airbnb, do whatever they want. So pretty much everything I do is business, just like you.
Correct. All right.
All roads lead to Rome.
Yep. And to get a little bit deeper with Daniel's question, if you were to post something, I guess that would look to be a little bit more personal, would you?
Well, let's see. The one I can think of, I posted a couple of weeks ago, or a day, probably a week or two ago. Let me see. I was in a bathing suit on the beach. Okay, walking the beach. Let's see. What did I talk about?
The sand feels so good. Could you imagine your life on this sand? What if the beach house was just 2 miles away?
Yeah, so like this one, if you look at it, I'm on the beach in a bathing suit. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on a minute. It's right there.
A little bit.
Okay. See it?
Yep.
Okay. So in this one, I just talked about that, some may think that or may say that I'm addicted to my work, which in a way, I don't like the word addicted because I can snap out of everything. Like, as you can see, I drank coffee for 20 years and now I drink matcha, and I just, from one day to the other, I went to matcha. I never looked back. So I don't have an addictive personality. I have too much of a mind power to overcome anything that I enjoy doing and decide I'm not doing it anymore.
Sure.
But in this one, I just talked about, that even when I'm on the beach, like I get to enjoy the beach. I live 2 seconds now from the beach, but I still get phone calls and I still get work done. So even though I'm in my bathing suit, soaking up the sun and working on my tan, I can still get work done. So it's just, in a way, everything just ties back right into work. So with that post, I was just kind of, allowing the people that are stuck to their computer to like get out, and your cell phone is your business. Like, go get it done from the beach, get some vitamin D in the meantime.
Right. So would you say there's almost a lifestyle push that you're doing because what funds the lifestyle is the business?
Exactly. Yeah. So if you build it right, you're not tied to a location anymore. Like I remember John Kitchens telling us we went to an NAE certification, National Association of Expert Advisors. And in that I don't even know. I think we were the only one from like a cold state at the time, from Michigan. And he's like, why are you guys living in Michigan? And we were like, well, Dwayne's from there. And I don't know, that's where we live. And he was like, you're not a tree. You can live anywhere. And I was like, oh, yeah. why do we live in Michigan? And now we are down in Florida for the winters, and we just put an offer in to build a house in a new construction community down here. So we're going to be down here in the winter times from now on. So it's just really giving you the freedom. So if you build it right, it's going to give you the freedom to live your life on your terms. And that is my goal, because money to me is just money. What money buys is what we work for.
Yeah.
Money buys the experiences and the lifestyles and the freedom that we all work so hard for.
Agreed. And by the way, trees can even move. I mean, we have palm trees in North Carolina, and they, these things just didn't show.
Relocated, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
not even good anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I got another question. Jason hit me with this question. What is the best advice? All right, is it Gogo or Go? What did you say earlier? I was like, oh.
No, it's Gogo.
Okay, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
All right, what is the best advice Gogo can offer on how to scale your business via social media as a newer EXP agent?
So what I would do is, first of all, you can be the secret agent, as you said. Like, you have to let the world know, everybody and their mother, who you are and what you do. So I would start with video. I would start every single morning. You're going to create a personalized message. So I'm talking now about your sphere, your current people that you know, that you cross paths at some point. You're going to take your cell phone and you're going to take a video in the morning, every single morning. It's going to be less than 1 minute, personalized to every person. So you're going to go through your A's and B's and C's and D's. So you start with A's, and let's say it's Angela. Okay. So you are going to start the video and say, hey, Angela, this is Gogo. Just wanted to let you know I just got licensed. I have access to absolutely everything in the state. If I can help you on the buy side, listing side, rentals, Airbnbs, lake properties, whatever you possibly can think of, I have access to everything. I would love to earn your business, and I'm reaching out to you to see if there's anything today that I can do to help you with any of your real estate needs. My cell number is 734 blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Okay.
You're going to go to Adam, because that's your next A, and you say, hey, Adam, and you never say, hey, this is Gogo, because they know who you are. You need to call them by name. So people like to hear their own name. They like to hear that they are acknowledged. And they also want to know that this is a personalized video. You didn't just send this out to 100 people. So you say, hey, Adam, and then you say the same thing over and over again. And I would do that until you go through your whole sphere, until you hit up everybody from your first grade teacher to your high school friend, to the kid that you grew up on the street with, to the guy that you worked at the pizza shop, to absolutely everything, because I don't know a single human being who doesn't need a roof above their head. Everyone is my client, future client, the way I look at it. So then I would create a video just like that, explaining who you are, what you do, why you got licensed, what area you cover, why you're so excited, what you learned today, whatever. And you're going to do that in horizontal version. You're going to upload it to YouTube, and then you're going to take that and you're going to plaster it everywhere. You're going to post it on your Facebook. You're going to post it on your LinkedIn. You're going to post it on your Instagram, and you're going to have business pages for all of this, correct? Because you take your business seriously. You're not doing it on your personal, because you're a realtor now. You own your own business. You're going to have a business page, correct, Ruben? Yeah.
That's right. Got it.
That's right. You're going to plaster that video everywhere, and then you're going to share it back to your personal page from your business page, Ruben. And you're going to invite all of your personal friends to come over and like that business page, support your business. In return, you will also support their business. Now, after you did all that, which is going to take you months, and trust me, if you call 10, at least one will come up with some sort of a lead source for you that it will give you something to work on. In the meantime, what do you do on Saturdays and Sundays? Open houses. If your state allows you open houses, you're going to be doing open houses. And they're like, but I don't have any listings. Well, call agents that have listings that don't have time. So if you call a top producing agent that has, 10 listings at any given time, they don't have the time to do the 10 listings. So then you post in the workplace and the local groups and all that. You have to belong to all of the local real estate groups and say, hey guys, I have Saturday and Sunday open. I would love to hold a listing open. Just tell me what you got and I'll be there, whatever, Saturday from 11 to 2, Sunday from 11 to 2. I would do those, especially for me. I'm really good in person. What the part I have a hard time with, or used to, now they know my name, it's a little different, but what I had a hard time with is nobody knew Gogo, what? Like, that's the wrong 1-800 number. And you have an accent, like, you know what I mean? It didn't go very well. So I have to get that opportunity to be face-to-face. And that was open houses for me. So I would hold open houses for other agents all the time. If 10 walks in and one doesn't have an agent, trust me, I'll be all over them. As soon as I left the open house, of course, I made everybody sign in. As soon as you leave the open house, what do you do again? You're going to take a video and you're going to go through every single one of those guys and girls. And you're going to say, oh, this is Jessica and Kevin Smith. Hey, Jessica and Kevin Smith, thank you so much for stopping by today. Just wanted to let you know that we had 11 couples walk through the property. Many of them looked very, very interested. If this is the one for you, you might want to make an offer with your agent. It might not be in the market by the end of the day. If you don't have an agent and you want to make an offer, I would love to represent you. My cell phone number is 734-476, yada, yada, yada. Every single one of them. I wouldn't leave the driveway until I followed up with every single one of them. Again, you call them by name. Again, you do a video, because then it's much harder to say no to someone's face than it is to say no to an email. Not only that, but 99% of the emails nowadays don't even get open. So you always text them and you always send a video above and beyond a personalized video, because they are like, holy shit, this girl is working really hard. So I would do those all the time. That would be one lead after the other. And then the buyer, most of the time, have to sell in order to buy. So there's your listing. So it just goes on and on and on. But you can't sit at home on the couch and wondering why your phone is not ringing if you're really not putting in the time and the effort. You get what you put in. It's really that simple.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds like you have everybody really focus on the warm circle of influence first, and they get their reps in with that first. Yeah. And then when they're out in the cold world where they're doing an open house and they're meeting cold leads or whatever, they put in all that repetition. They've already put in the work, that now it's a little bit more easier and fluid when they're working with their cold leads. Awesome. Got another question for you. Do you have a goal number of posts per day/week?
Yeah. So every day I post once or twice into my feed, and anywhere from 10 to 14 times into my stories.
Perfect. All right. Next question. What is the best advice Oh, nope. That's it. Nope. Sorry. Any post for EXP attraction on social media, or is that more personal?
So as you can see on mine, I do talk EXP quite often, but I don't talk EXP. Does that make sense? So it's not that, hey, come join me at EXP. You barely ever see. The only thing you see EXP on my profile is it says broker by EXP in my bio, but you'll never see anything edited with a big fat EXP logo on it. The reason why, well, multiple reasons, but the reason why is this: you don't want to scare them away. There is a certain word on the street about EXP, and we are trying very hard to change that one day at a time and one agent at a time, and we're doing really freaking good at it. We are the fastest growing brokerage in the nation, but still there are people out there that they have an understanding of our company, and it's totally wrong. So if you put an EXP logo on it, they right away see that it's EXP. They won't even read it. Okay, so I don't put anything EXP on mine. I let them go through halfway of whatever I'm talking about to realize, oh shit. There we go. It's going into EXP, going into the health insurance. So I instead talk about the different benefits that the company gives, one benefit at a time. So today I might talk about the health insurance. Did you know that anywhere from 20 to 32% of realtors don't have health insurance? And then I go into, how EXP offers health insurance. So I talk about mostly of the benefits that the company offer, one benefit at a time, and never put EXP logo on any of your editing, because you're going to scare them away and they'll never even read what you posted because they saw the logo. So that's my opinion on it. And of course, there's a thing called FOMO. It's a fear of missing out. But in order to get them to have FOMO, you have to show them the life. So again, it goes back to, you have to be in front of the camera. You have to be okay with the shameless self-promotion. You have to be okay with bragging. You have to be okay with doing all that. So allow them into your life so they get to see your life and your lifestyle, so they can potentially have FOMO.
Yeah, exactly. And would you say, just to kind of wrap, and not saying we're wrapping it up, but to wrap up, basically what you're saying is just tell your story.
Yeah.
Just tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
Do the reps on warm leads within your phone. Get, screw up all with them because it's a little bit easier because they know you. And then after a little while, you get to where you tell your story and you get a little bit better at it every single day, being consistent on social media.
Yeah. And you don't have to be perfect. None of us are. I mean, if anybody out there is perfect, please have at it. Go all day. But none of us is perfect. You know what I mean? So you just be you. And that's the fun part. To be you, you don't have to go out of your comfort zone because you're already you. Nobody can be you.
Yeah.
So just be you and grab a camera and take an image of what's going on today.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, even when they're doing a video and they screw up and they're like, and they try to delete it. I'm like, don't delete it. Because that's what makes you real, is those mistakes. We all make mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are videos, even in my course, there are videos I'm like, I'm eating my hair. I'm like, Sorry.
Right.
Let me find this. Oh, found it. Okay, good. Let's continue. Like, you know, I mean, it's like whatever's going on. Like, I don't get dumber just because accidentally I have a hair in my mouth. You know, I mean, but that just happened, and it makes you real. People are like, oh, Gogo taking hair out of her mouth. Yeah, I mean, and maybe it even makes them continue paying attention more because they just woke up in the middle. They could have fallen asleep if I didn't eat my hair.
What would you tell the person who gets in their own way to do posts because they are worried about hair getting in their mouth? Like, you see so many people get in their own way. What would you tell that person today?
Well, as Tony Robbins says, you're in your head, you're dead.
To get out of your head?
Yeah.
How? I'm struggling here. It's just bothering me. How do I get out of my head? Gogo, help.
Let me tell you this. So Ruben, why do you care what people think? So if you're stopping yourself from making a post, I'm assuming it's because you're worried about the video not being perfect, or you might look funny, or you don't like the way you sound, or you don't like, maybe you said there's a mistake, or what if I sound stupid? What are people going to say? Is that the reason?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let me ask you this, or let me tell you this from my 2 cents. I will start caring about your opinion when you start paying my bills. Okay. Until then, until I have the responsibility of paying my own bills, your opinion does not matter. Okay. So because your opinion doesn't matter, I will post whatever I want. If you don't like it, you have the choice not to follow me. Okay.
100%.
But if you like it, then you follow me and we are of the same and we're going to get along. And when we go on a business trip and I get to meet you, I'm like, oh my gosh, hey, Ruben, let's have a drink. And the ones that I'm not their people, I'm not their people. The only reason they know they're not their people is because I allow them to get to know me. But then if you don't allow them to get to know me, it goes the other way around too. You're also not going to find the people that would work with you. That would have bills. How are you going to pay your bills? Okay, you're not going to do social media. What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's a shame, right? Because you do see people that hold themselves back so much so that it truly affects their bills and the money that they make and the places that they want to be. And they give themselves reasons why they can't be there. But if just they would have just got out of their own head in the very beginning, they would have been a lot farther. That's a good point. I got another question.
Don't care until they start paying your bills, which they're not going to pay your bills. So might as well. Don't care.
Be yourself. Another question from Daniel. What do you do for agent retention? It's a good question.
Oh gosh, we do a lot of training. Also, everybody has a chance to do. So again, every Wednesday we do production training. Every Wednesday night I do a Why Not EXP. So I help them grow their teams and organization if they want to. So I do the presentation, I handle the objections, I answer their questions. And when that agent is ready to sign up, they sign up with the agent who invited them to the event. Every Thursday we do tech support. So it's Christy Text Thursday. So if they need anything from Canva to Skyslope to how to create a marketing agreement, how do I create a header, a footer, email signature, you name it. We have those trainings. And then every Friday morning, we do agent attraction mastermind. So those are every single week. Since I've been with the company, I only missed 2 Wednesdays because I was literally in the air. Other than that, I schedule my life around our training. So I'm always there for them. Also, every second Wednesday, they get 15 minutes increments for 2.5 hours for one-on-one coaching. So it's first come, first serve. They plug themselves into my calendar. Every other coaching is group setting. But if they want to, maybe they have some more on a personal side or some personal goals that they want me to hold them to it or pick my brain on it. We do that in a one-on-one coaching. So for that, they schedule themselves months ahead. And usually we'll talk 1 month, and then a month from them, we'll talk again. I make sure that they did their homework, they did their work. If they don't put the work in, they're wasting my time, and then they don't get a second chance. So my coaching is, I'm a pretty blunt kind of coach. So I don't bullshit. I don't want to waste your time. The coaching calls are not a chitty chatting session. Okay. It's really there for you to achieve your goals. And if I know the answer or a quickest way, how to help you to get to your goal, that's the whole thing. So if I'm giving you half an hour of my life or time, think about it. I'm giving you half an hour of my life. So I take it very seriously because I could have spent that half an hour with my family. So if they don't put the work in, then they don't get a chance to book me again. So those are every second Wednesday of the month. And then they also get access to all of my coaching programs. So everything I ever came out with, the boot camp, the social media course, the agent attraction course, everything coaching, mentoring, everything is free to everybody in the Team Gogo organization. So they get all that. We also have all kinds of systems in places, onboarding systems. So as soon as they join, Christy is my right-hand girl. They get pretty much a 2-hour Zoom session with her that she helps them get everything onboarded. Downloading all the apps, getting access to all of the Facebook groups, all of the benefits that we provide. Then we have VAs and a Trello board now where we pretty much follow through. We follow up with them, 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, 1 year, to make sure, and that repeats all the time to make sure everybody is, followed up with and had a one-on-one. Also, we celebrate. So we celebrate birthdays, anniversaries. Every month we celebrate who's the top producer and who's the top agent attractor. And we also celebrate who iconed, who capped, who had their birthdays. So we do pretty much all of that. We also refer to one another in the group. Before we refer outside of the group. If some of us have a business, for example, one of our agents' wife is going through a transaction coordination licensing. So we are going to feature her when she's licensed, so she will, number one, she'll give a discount to the Team Gogo agents, but also we are going to help another Team Gogo agent who has a side hustle to feed their family. And so we support one another. When we travel, like today, we have an agent who I've never met. She's Team Gogo, coming to hang with us because she's in Clearwater, and she's like, I know you're very close to Clearwater. Can I come hang with you? So when I'm back in Michigan, or even down here, when agents are visiting, they have all the rights to come and hang with me for the day and work with me with for the day. So we do a lot of that. When we are back in Michigan, we usually disclose, hey, today I'm working at this lender's office or this title company's office. And then our local agents will come there and just, hang and work together. So I could talk about hours and hours of what we do for retention, but we love it. Like we call it the Team Gogo International family. Again, we don't take a cut from one another. Everybody's an individual agent. Many of them have their own brokerages and teams and stuff, but we are all just together as a group, like not where I'm the team leader by no means, nobody gives me a cut. And so we just do.
Yeah.
And for each other.
Yeah, Daniel, I hope you wrote all that down. Also, out of everything you did say, what would you say is probably that has contributed the most into agent retention? Out of everything you said, what would you say gives to most to the retention side?
I would say probably the Wednesday training, because that was the very first one. It always was Wednesday at 1:00. And sorry, I made it into the beta group at EXP, so top 1% in the company. And their meeting is every Wednesday at 1:30. And I missed that meeting because I am not willing to give up the time with our Team Gogo. I can't, I can't move our appointment, because then if I do, it just everything gets messed up. All of our marketing, all of our email drafts, everything. So I'm not willing to sacrifice that. So I would say it's the Wednesday trainings. And I would say also it's that it's not always me. I don't have the answers to everything. There's many things I don't know and I'm not willing to learn, like cold calling and scripts, never. But that doesn't mean that other agents on the team don't want to do that or they don't love it. Many do. And so we have some of the best that come and teach every single Wednesday. So it's just, I think that we train together and that we get to know each other personally. So everybody in Team Gogo does a lot of social media. So we really get to know each other. So we feel like that we are a family and we feel like we know each other even though we never met.
Man, and I want people to know, because by the way, they just changed it to 1:30 Wednesdays like a month ago.
Yeah.
And guys, that's a call with the president a US growth president once a month. And she's missing out on that for her people. So, I don't know if people understand the importance of being on a call with the president once a month once a week.
I would love to be on there. I just can't do that. I can't change the schedule for 500 agents. And used to be on Thursdays. You remember, it used to be Thursdays at 11. And so when they changed it to Wednesdays at 1:30, I'm like, I just can't.
You were like, what?
I can't. And I wish I could be there because that helps my growth. But then I feel like I can't move 500 people around just because
100%. Do you have anybody who gives you basically the highlights of that call? I know this is like side note.
Yeah, so I try. So my sponsor is there too.
Okay.
So I usually call him and be like, hey, what did you hear today? So then I can be up to date. But it's
Exactly.
different on there. You know what I mean? Because you get to see faces and see people in the company and
True.
get to know them and personalities and all of those things. And then when you get a 2-minute synopsis.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's those conversations that happen before Zoom. But I was just asking because I could shoot you some highlights if you didn't, but it sounds like you have that. I've got a few more questions and then we'll wrap this thing up, okay?
Sounds good.
Do you have a favorite failure that you believe has set you up for success?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. But I'm sure I have a million of them. Oh, goodness gracious. I know for a fact, and I have a million failures, and I know they're not failures because I learned a lesson from every single one of them. But I can't think of a single one right now.
Give me one. Make up one.
What do you think? Dwayne.
I love this.
I have to ask my husband. His poor guy has been through it for 11 years.
Go.
Failure in real estate, then I learned.
Favorite failure.
Favorite failure.
Failure in real estate? Sure.
Yeah. Both struggling. Struggle city. Nah, nothing coming. Me neither.
Wow. Okay. So let's do this.
It's definitely going to be the team.
Which one?
The team's, the personal team structures and how agents in the past just would always walk away once they learned what they were doing. But it's different.
Yeah. Pretty much that. I guess that is one of my biggest failure of waiting 5 years to not join. I mean, I never joined a team, but if I would have joined a team, I probably would have speeded up the process by 5 years.
Yeah. I'll say one of the best things, because I came from KW and it was very one way to grow a real estate team. When I came to EXP, we found 3 other ways to grow a real estate team outside of that model, and the flexibility to kind of explore and be creative and fail and then rebuild. And not everybody follows that model. That was a big failure of mine. So that's awesome. I'm glad that got brought up. A few more questions, all right?
Yeah.
What profession other than your own would be fun to attempt?
I always wanted to be, sorry, I have allergies down here.
You're good.
I always wanted to be, I would love to be a spy, like a FBI, CIA, something like that. I love anything researchy, like kind of like figuring it out. When we are watching anything like murder mysteries or anything like that, I'm usually the one telling you who did it. And my husband is like, why do you think that? I'm like, look at the guy's left-handed and the cut was on the left-hand side and blah, blah, blah. He's like, I didn't even notice that. And I'm like, so that kind of stuff I would love to, but at the same time, I want to be a mom and I want to have a safe, healthy life. So I wouldn't want to be looking over my shoulders. But I do speak 3 languages and I have a very good head on my shoulder. I think I would make a very good secret agent. So something like that. I would love to serve the country in some way if I could. Maybe as simple as just translating in an office where it's safe and I'm sitting in the background.
Right.
But anything like that, I would love. Any detective type of work.
Well, we're right outside of Fort Bragg, which home of special operations. So
Really?
they might need you. So next time you're around.
But, one of the grandpas at my kid's baseball game, he worked for the FBI, and we were talking about this. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to do that. And he's like, how old are you? And at that time I was 38, and he goes, oh, you're too old. And I was like, well, what is this, a modeling gig? I did what? You can't be. He's like, no, you can't be more than 36 as a woman. And I was like, that's stupid. Well, clearly I missed that in this lifetime, but maybe in the next lifetime I can come back and live it up.
You better come back as a spy. All right, purchase of less than $100 that has most improved your life.
I don't really spend money. I'm the cheapest person when it comes. I'm assuming business. I'm assuming business. You're talking
That your life. So that's personal or professional.
life.
Less than $100.
Less than $100. Probably photo editing apps.
Oh, that makes sense. So
Yeah,
you pay
probably-
for it. Which one do you pay for?
So Darkroom is my favorite. I think it's
Darkroom.
a paid app. Yeah, Darkroom. You see it? There's it right there. The
It's
pink
too
one.
dark. No, I'm joking.
Darkroom. It's the pink.
It's a dad joke.
Yeah, probably those.
Okay. All right. And then what question do you have for me? We got 4 minutes. Is there a question you have for me?
So you said the team thing. So what did you learn? What mistakes did you make there?
So thinking that the MREA 7-level system was the only way to grow a real estate team, that was my mistake. Because I forced it down people's throat too, because I thought that was the word. And it wasn't, and it wasn't a good fit for everybody. And I look back and I wish I never did that, you know. Now the type of structure we run, we have no liability, no overhead, and it's almost 100% leveraged. And
so what do you have at EXP? Do you have standard? Do you have mega icon? Do you have self-organized?
so we don't, here's the thing, it's none of that. It's something that we call the pass play. So my brand isn't even part of the conversation. It's not brand heavy to escape liability. But it does definitely use the EXP system of revenue share, free stock, and discounted stock once these deals are closed. But I'm out of the picture. So
that's what I do. I don't have my name on any of the agreements. We generate the leads with my brand, but whichever agent works the lead, the contract is in their name. So my name is nowhere on the contract, and then we take a referral fee. That's what you do?
Yep, a higher referral fee along with the revenue share and the stock options that come with it. But you know, what's cool is like, and I was telling really this whole thing got built up is that I could die and the business still runs.
Mm-hmm.
And that was important to me, is how do I create a business that, and I don't want to die, but if I did, we've done it, we've created it, and it's been pretty powerful.
Yeah, I remember going to Business Mastery with Tony Robbins and walked in there thinking, I got this, make really good money. I'm you know, and I walked out of there, I'm like, whoa. So he says that the average multimillionaire has 6-7 different types of income, and they only trade their time to one. 6 are passive. And then he also says, Warren Buffett says, if you can't figure out how to make money while you're asleep, you'll never be rich, which means you have to leverage. And that was the part when I realized, hold on a minute, I made very good money, but I traded my own time for money, which there's only 24 hours and eventually going to hit a ceiling. So in order to do that, but now we have even one step above, where in the past you had to start a team and you were the team leader and you were taking the hit for every single transaction. If somebody was picking up today, you were taking a hit. And I remember Tony Robbins saying that he had, I think, 50 some thousand employees. And he said, what do you think are the chances that somebody's picking up today? Excuse my French.
You're good.
And I was like, pretty high, pretty freaking high. And I realized I don't want that. Like, I want everything that leverage brings, but I don't want the negative side to it. I don't want the liability. I don't want the overhead. And you know what I have for an office? This right here is my office. I seriously own a printer. That's my expense of doing business. So what EXP allows us to do here is exactly that. Not only that, but think about it, with the old models, you were tied to location.
Oh yeah.
Here, I can have agents from Idaho, agents from Canada, one just joined from France. We're talking to agents in Brazil. There's Italy and South Africa and every state in the US. And we can go to Hawaii and Canada and Alaska and Arkansas and you name it. You can have agents absolutely everywhere and no liability and overhead. And I'm like, and where's the catch? There has to be a catch.
What are your fees every month?
Yeah. There
85?
are you gonna give me free stocks? Sure you will. No, they do. There's no catch.
Nope.
I read the freaking small print. I read the ICO. Trust me, for 4 days I freaking read the ICA. No small print.
Yeah, we look back, last year's income, 81% was passive. And it was just, I'm just stoked that we've expanded our mind.
I wonder, revenue share stocks, boot camp versus commissions. Well, this year's going to be 100% because I don't work personally on transactions anymore. We feed out every single lead to the team. But I wonder, last year I still did some. I wonder what the percentage was.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, we had real estate investments too. I got last question and then you're out of here, okay?
I have a call.
Okay. What's your favorite passive income stream? And then we're done. That's from Sarah. Thank you, Sarah.
Revenue share.
Okay.
It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love boot camp too. and our bootcamp is much, 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 much more than revenue share. But I just love revenue share because I see that on the long run. I see that in my retirement. I see that in my children's future, and maybe even bootcamp. I mean, who knows? Like, the goal is to turn it into more like a university that just any agent can go for any of their marketing needs, or maybe not even agents, small businesses as well.
Right.
So that will be there too. But Team Gogo is just close to my heart. You know, those, some of them I know personally, where in our in as of our students in the boot camp, very little I know personally. Does that make sense? So it's still a people business.
Correct.
So I think that's why. But I mean, both are close to my heart, but probably revenue share is the one that is closest.
Yeah, exactly. Number one was our pass play that we were just talking about with passive income. Number two was revenue share, was our second performer of last year. Number three was real estate investing. So it disrupts the whole mindset of what passive income, how you can create it. Thank you so much, Gogo. I very, very, very much appreciate you jumping on here today. And any last words, and then I'm gonna hit X.
Just be you. Don't forget, you don't sell real estate. You sell yourself and your services.
Tell the truth, be you. Thank you, Gogo. I'll see you later.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.
I find this so I can share it very quick.
I will send you the link. Oh, do you want me to send you the link on Instagram? I'll just go ahead and do it that way.
Awesome. That would be awesome. Thank you so much.
You got
Bye,
it. Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.